So in this one, I thought we could talk about something that I feel we all know, but because it's not politically correct to talk about, none of us talk about it, and it's the fact that most women are not girls. You know, Cardi B went viral a couple of months, maybe even a year ago, for saying that she's not a girl, and a lot of women were, in my opinion, pretending to be shook about it. But why would you be shook about the fact that Cardi B is not a girls? Okay, Cardi B is a male identified pick me, choose me. Okay, she's somebody that would actually physically fight another woman for her man or her ex-man Offset. So of course she's no a girls. Okay, and by a matter of fact, most women are no girls. And in this one, I thought I would tell you 3 reasons why I personally believe most women are not girls, and the first one being socializing. I personally do not believe that most women have been socialized to be girls. Okay, I remember being 6 years old and knowing that most women were not girls, and yes, I was a very young girl child at the time, but I remember my aunt having her friend come to visit, and her friend had this very long flowy dress. It was a pastel color, and she came by, and my aunt gave her this ginormous hug, and there was this huge smile accompanying it. And after something that felt like forever to me, okay, to young child me, but it was probably like 2 hours, her friend left. My aunt, sorry, accompanied her to the door and gave her a hug and gave her a smile. But as soon as her friend left, like as soon as she closed the door, she was like, yeah, the dress was really nice, but the fabric looks cheap. Okay, and I knew by then that, you know, all cut was cooked. I also remember another incident where my mom's friend was asking my friend whether our housemaid, so if you don't know, I come from Senegal, West Africa, and it's not abnormal for people to have like house help. If people have like bigger houses, bigger apartments, if they have a room for free, it's not unusual for their maids or house help to live with them. And you know, we had this one maid that was very shapely. Okay, I can't really remember her body because again, I was very young, 6, 7, but I know for a fact that she had this very, you know, pear, like very shapely body. And I remember my mom's friend asking my mom, like, is this your maid? Literally, like Susan Tending, like, she's gonna take your maid, like she's gonna take your husband. And again, this was very common when I was a young child, not only with my mom and her friend, but with my aunties and my mom's friends, and everybody else like was really careful, I guess, about who they would employ to work in their house. You don't want to employ somebody that was too beautiful in the face. You don't want to employ somebody that was too shapely, because they would take your husband, come for your husband. You know, these were really poor women that were looking for a job, were looking for a living, but somehow these women were thinking that these women were after their husband. I don't think so, but whatever, it's just the way it was that way back in the days. Okay, so I remember being a very young girl child, like 6, 7, and knowing that most women were kind of antipathic towards other women. I remember being a very young girl child, 6, 7, and knowing that most women were catty towards other women, knowing that most women was hypocritical in their friendship with other women, knowing that most women were wary of other women. Okay, and I could tell you 100 more anecdotes about my childhood and what made me, I guess, kind of wary of other women, but that would just be a waste of your time. Even, you know, bringing friends, like women or girls, friends back home, sometimes you would hear remarks like, she's jealous of you, or she's not a true friend. And you know, I'm not the only one. You know, I know many other friends who experience the same things, where they would bring like girlfriends back home and their mother would say that she's not your friend, I don't want her in my house, she's jealous of you, she's jealous of your hair, she's jealous of this, she's jealous of that, and don't bring her back in my house, don't bring her back around my house. I feel like, you know, we all experience some variation of this. So yeah, most women were actually socialized to kind of be wary of other women. Most women were socialized to be catty towards other women. Most women were socialized to be hypocritical towards other women. I feel like another reason why women are very catty towards other women is men. I feel like this is the big reason why, right? Most men are not worth partnering. Okay, that is one thing that you will hear me say over and over again, because I simply believe it to be true. I believe most men are just not good partnering, and because well-to-do men are fine few in between, because good men, whatever that means, are fine few in between, most women are in competition with other women. You know, fun fact, if you look at the very beginning of a suffering of every woman, what are you gonna find? Another woman. Exactly. And you can't tell me all women who date married women don't know these men are married. I'm simply not gonna believe you. Yes, are there women who date married men not knowing they're dating married men? Absolutely. But I believe for the most part, women who date married men know the men that they're married. I know that for me personally, every time that a married man was pushing on me, I knew he was married, okay? Like they never call in the evenings, like you can never get answers from them in the evenings. Even when they are with you, they select the calls that they answer to, so they're going to ignore a lot of calls because these calls are coming from their wives. They never want to take you to their apartment. They always want to come to your apartment. They always want to take you to hotel rooms. Like, you can tell when you're dating a married man. You know, especially most women are very perspicacious. Most women have a sixth sense. Like, you can tell when you're dating a married man. I don't care. Okay, your sixth sense is going to tell you. But yeah, most women are actually not girls in the sense that they don't actually care about that. They think they're special. They think they got a honeypot. Okay, most women are very competitive when it comes to, you know, competing for men. This is why you're forever gonna see on X, on Threads, women complaining about being out with a friend, and their friend is the one that got, you know, approached, and they personally didn't get approached. You know, they are, even here on YouTube, there are countless videos about being the friend that never get approached, blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. Because again, women, you know, male identified women, pick me women, put men on a very high pedestal. You even have women that will ignore the fact that their very daughter, their child, their flesh, their blood is being SA'd, okay, by the husband, partner, current partner, in the name of keeping a piece of a man. Okay, so that is how male identified some women can be. Now, if you can ignore that, if you can't even be a girl's girl to your own girl, okay, your flesh and blood, you're certainly not gonna be a girl's girl to the end of the world, okay? And that's not marrying the lame, okay? Period. So yeah, women compete for men, and because of men, unfortunately, most women are not girls because most women are competing for, you know, provider men and the best man for the job and good men, I guess, you know, men with good character, men with integrity. So because of that, that is another reason why most women are not girls. That's another reason why the sisterhood is only true online. The third and last reason that I'm going to be addressing in this video, why I personally believe that most women are not girls, is beauty. Okay, and I know this is unpopular opinion, but I personally believe that most women are not going to be girls to a very beautiful woman, whatever that means. If you are deemed as, viewed as, perceived as attractive, if you are a real life Barbie doll, okay, without being a celebrity, if you look like Kelly Rowland, if you look like Ryan Destiny, if you look like Justin Sky, if you look like Lori Harvey, you're just not gonna have a lot of friends. I believe friendship is not in the cards for you if you look like Kelly Rowland or Lori Harvey. Okay, now I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't believe I am. From my own personal experience, if you're a very attractive woman, if you're a real life Barbie doll, you're just not going to have a lot of friends. Envy is going to be a problem, jealousy is going to be a problem. And you know, one thing that I say all the time is that envy is a normal human emotion. Okay, if you have a friend that is below average in attractiveness, or just average in attractiveness, right, that is bound to get to her. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth, right? Like every time that she goes out with you at brunches, restaurants, even stores like Zara, Mango, H&M, like she's bound to, you know, see men like literally break out their necks looking at you, right? You receiving a lot of validation from women giving you a compliment. That is bound to get to her. It's unfortunate, absolutely, we can regret it, but it is the truth, and it's a very human behavior. Like, we can't be mad at people for being human. Like, let's be for real, okay? Like, who can be mad at a human being for, you know, acting very humanly, right? Nobody can take that, you know, over and over again. That is bound to create resentment. Unfortunately, again, we can regret it, but that is unfortunately still, in my personal opinion and experience as well, a very real fact. So yeah, beauty is a commodity for women. We know that beauty is power. We know beauty is currency, like not only social currency, actual currency. We know that because we talked about it before, men compete for women. We know that beauty is a very big thing for most men, right? Like when a man first approaches you, he doesn't really know you. Like he doesn't know your inner character, the fact that you're a very good person, a very nice person, because he approached you because you're a very beautiful woman. Again, sad, unfortunate, yeah, but still true. So if you're a very beautiful woman, a woman who attracts a lot of attention outside, you are going to be bound to have a lot of problems in your friendship. So beauty is a big problem when it comes to women, because again, most women know that beauty will get women out of tickets, that beauty would get women, you know, the ability to be able to use store clerks discount codes, 20%, 20%, whatever in stores. A lot of women know that beauty will get women's the men's attention. A lot of people know that women will get women enormous amount of advantages that I don't care to get into here and now, but we all know this to be true, right? We all know it's true. We all know beauty is social currency. We all know beauty is power. So yeah, beauty is the third and last reason why I believe that relationship between women and women are very, very complicated. We even have relationship between friends who don't introduce their boyfriends to their friend, right? That is crazy. Like, how crazy is that, right? I have been at the receiving end of this, and I know a lot of people who've been as well, where you have a friend who is partnered and who won't introduce you to their partner because they're worried that their partner is going to change their mind, their partner is going to cheat with you or choose you instead. Crazy, but this is a real thing, right? And I always say, and I actually believe even I have a short about this, right? If you're worried about introducing your friends to your man, that you need new friends and you need new men, and that's what Mary DeLabe, okay, I'm not going to change my mind about it. That's actually ridiculous. But yeah, beauty is, for a lot of women, unfortunately, not a commodity but a burden. Just ask, you know, the Nikitas of the world and the Kelly Rowland of the world, and I'm sure, you know, being as beautiful as they are, unfortunately, has been a burden when it comes to other women. You can even see this online, right? No matter how beautiful a woman is, no matter how perfect she looks, there are always going to be other women, haters really, in my opinion, who are going to be like, yeah, your hair wasn't on fleek. Yeah, I wish she chose another dress. Yeah, she gained a little bit of weight. Yeah, she had a pickle here. Yeah, her shoes didn't match her bag. Yeah, right. If you watch the VMAs or whatever else is going on, whatever on the red carpet, there are always going to be people in the comment section down below of Sarah or again, right, Destiny, Justin Skies, Kelly Rowland, even Beyonce. People are going to be like, oh, I wish she did this and that. I wish she did that and stuff. I didn't like her jewelry. That's a personal favorite of mine for whatever reason. But yeah, unfortunately, women are always very, 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 very extremely critical of other women, and I wish it wasn't that way. Now, in closing of this video, I know somebody's gonna be like, yeah, but you know, the sisterhood is real online. You know, every time that I'm on TikTok and somebody graduates and become a doctor, there are always people to congratulate them. Well, that's because they don't know them. Listen, this is very sad and unfortunate, but the bitter truth is that we are always going to be more willing to congratulate or root for people we don't know than people we know. Okay, I have seen this comment section as well online where people are like, I'm part of you, stranger, never been as part of a stranger. Keyword in all of these sentences is stranger, okay? Because when your cousin, when your best friend from kindergarten, who you grew up in the same hood with, actually makes it out of poverty, it's a lot harder to root for them because you cannot order them. Okay, when you see somebody on TikTok graduating, becoming a doctor or lawyer, you can always say, oh yeah, maybe they had rich parents, maybe they had better circumstances than I did. You can't do that when it comes to your cousin. You can't do that when it comes to your sister. You can't do that when it comes to your best friend from kindergarten, because you know that you all come from the exact same circumstances. Okay, you know that you come from the exact same hood, that they had to go through or overcome the exact same obstacle, okay, that they too grew up around drugs and RAPE and, you know, violence and people going to prison, and they still made it. And it's a lot harder to clap for people around us, people who come from the exact same circumstances, people who had the exact same beginning. Okay, it's a lot harder to clap for them than it is to clap for strangers, because that brings us back to our very own failure. That brings us back to the fact that we didn't follow through with our goals, with our dreams, with our aspirations, okay, with our whatever else we could have become. Okay, and yeah, it's a lot harder to clap for friends, for cousins, for siblings than it is to clap for strangers, unfortunately. Even when it comes to very insignificant things like weight loss, right? It's a lot easier to clap for a weight loss of a Gabby Sidibe, okay, that we don't know. You know, if you don't know, she's the woman who was in Empire. I believe she has twins now with her husband. It's a lot easier to clap for her weight loss than it is to clap for the weight loss of somebody we know. Because for Gabby Sidibe, we can say, oh, maybe she had personal trainer, maybe she used Ozempic or Mounjaro or whatever else. But when it comes to our friend, sister, cousin, we know they don't have access to a personal chef, a personal trainer. So we know they did it on themselves. They did it all on their own, and it's a lot harder to clap for them, but that is just human nature. In closing of this video, I wanted to give a tremendous and ginormous thanks to my personal village. You know, in the grand scheme of things, no matter whatever it is I said about women friendship in this video, I still believe that being friends with women is still better than being friends with men. I believe that women, for the most part, are better friends than men. You know, most men are going to befriend you, or at least in my personal opinion, most men who befriended me didn't really want to be my friend. Okay, they befriended me because they approached me as a romantic partner, and I didn't want them as a partner. So they kind of were waiting around their turn. Okay, they were waiting around, you know, until I broke up with my boyfriend. They were waiting around until maybe I was in a very vulnerable moment so that they could get it. Okay, at least most women do not befriend me with the back thought of sleeping with me. So shout out to my village, shout out to my friends, shout out to Agnes, shout out to Anna, shout out to my sister and friend Betty, shout out to Cynthia, shout out to Erica, shout out to my mother and friend Fatu, shout out to my daughter and friend Eden, of course shout out to my grandmother and friend Manira. My life would be purposeless without you. I wouldn't be the person that I am today without your consistent love and support, emotional support. Without your consistent encouragement, I couldn't keep on filming this video. I couldn't keep on keeping on. And I just wanted to let you know at the end of this video, after talking all this crap about women, that my life would be purposeless without you. If you still enjoyed this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know what do you think about, you know, women's friendship. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you on Saturday, I believe 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye girls, thanks for watching. Mwah.